Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into a fascinating new tool that acts like a magic sword against the terrifying and honestly often entirely unreadable monster of legal jargon. It's called ai-legal-claude, and it's a project that's aiming to completely transform how developers and freelancers handle the contracts that cross their desks every single day. Look at this jarring reality. 82%. That is a massive chunk of freelancers who just sign on the dotted line without actually reading the contract. And honestly, it's not laziness. It's totally born out of fatigue. Legalese is dense, it's purposely complex, and when you just want to write code, design a website, and get paid, it is incredibly intimidating. But here's why that fatigue is so incredibly dangerous. Why do people skip reading? Well, getting a lawyer to review a standard contract means you're looking at dropping anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000. But, and the repo for this tool points this out perfectly, missing just one bad clause, like an overly broad indemnification or a sneaky non-compete, can easily cost you over $10,000 in lost revenue or damages. It is a really high-stakes gamble. So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the high cost of all this legalese, see exactly what ai-legal-claude is, break down its 14 specific skills, peek under the hood at its multi-agent architecture, and then, crucially, wrap up with some serious developer warnings. All right, let's get right into it. What exactly is ai-legal-claude, and how does it fit into your environment? The absolute key takeaway here is that we are not talking about some clunky standalone web app you have to log into. No way. ai-legal-claude is a powerful skill extension built specifically for Claude Code. With just a single shell command, you're injecting robust capabilities like contract analysis, document generation, and compliance auditing directly into the terminal where you're already hanging out and working. And this is the metric that is literally a game changer: 60 seconds. The project docs claim this tool can tear through a complex contract and spot hidden risks in under a minute. I mean, compare that to emailing a lawyer, waiting a week for a red line doc, and paying hundreds per hour. For an initial triage, it's a massive, massive time saver. So what could it actually do? Let's check out this complete arsenal of legal skills it brings to your terminal. These 14 skills are neatly organized into three main buckets: analysis, document generation, and compliance. Under analysis, you've got commands like /legal-plain, which instantly translates all that dense legalese into normal, plain English. Over in generation, you can draft basic NDAs or freelance agreements just by typing /legal-NDA. And for compliance, you can actually package up professional PDF reports straight from the terminal. Pretty wild, right? But there's one command that absolutely needs its own spotlight, and that's /legal-missing. This one is fascinating. It goes way beyond just reading the text on the page. It actually uses the AI's contextual knowledge to figure out what crucial protections are missing, things that were strategically or maybe accidentally left out. Finding what isn't there is notoriously hard for non-lawyers, so this is huge. When you stack all these commands together, the real-world use cases get super compelling. Sure, it's a powerhouse for indie developers checking a statement of work, but think bigger. AI automation agencies are already looking at this to run website compliance gap analyses, like for GDPR or CCPA, or even turning it around to offer professional PDF contract reports as a standalone paid service to their own clients. Okay, let's pop the hood and see how this thing actually works. It's powered by a really clever multi-agent setup. When you fire off that flagship /legal review command, Claude doesn't just read the file once top to bottom. It actually launches 5 specialized AI agents in parallel. You've got a clause analyst categorizing text, a risk assessor, which carries the most weight at 25% to flag dangers, a compliance checker, a recommendations engine spitting out fixes, and a terms mapper that tracks your deadlines. They all do their thing at the exact same time, weighting their findings to give you one unified contract safety score. Because it distributes the workload across these specialized agents instead of doing just one single AI pass, the output is incredibly thorough. Here's the flow. You submit the file, the 5 agents chew on it in parallel, they calculate that safety score from 0 to 100, and then, this is the best part, they hand you a prioritized, actionable checklist for negotiation. It literally tells you exactly what to push back on first. Now, as cool as all this is, we are dealing with legal docs and brute-level shell scripts here, so it is definitely time for a reality check and some warnings. Check out this quote from the Dudarik review of the tool. It's a massive warning. Stop before you run this.
Piping curl directly into Bash without reviewing the script first is a genuine security risk. The installation uses a one-liner piped right into Bash. We all know it's a common shortcut, but you are giving a script full access to your machine. You absolutely must manually download and read that install script to verify what it's doing before you execute it. No exceptions.
And let's clearly separate the hype from reality regarding the legal output itself. Look, this tool is amazing at translating legalese, flagging the obvious risks, and churning out first draft templates. But, and this is a big but, it absolutely does not provide legal advice. It cannot guarantee a clause will actually hold up in your specific local courts. ai-legal-claude is a triage tool to help you understand what you're reading. It is not a replacement for a licensed attorney.
You also have to keep the AI's technical limits in mind. The quality of what you get out depends heavily on Claude's context window. Feed it a massive 100-page enterprise contract, and you might hit chunking issues where it forgets the context of page 1 by the time it hits page 50. Also, there's no version pinning for the skills in the install script. It pulls straight from the main branch, so an update could suddenly change how the tool behaves. Treat any document it generates as a rough template, nothing more.
So that brings us to the ultimate question. I hope this explainer gave you a solid grasp of how this multi-agent setup works, as well as its real-world boundaries. But here's the provocative thought I want to leave you with. Will an AI assistant like this become a standard, must-have defense in your developer toolkit to fight off expensive legalese? Or, despite how convenient that one-line command is automating legal analysis in your terminal a risk you just aren't willing to take? It's a really fascinating choice, and it's one we're all going to have to make pretty soon.